What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we have another knife sent in for loan by my good friend and brother Kevin Lefty EDC. He sent me a bunch of knives. I'm getting to them now, and this one's a special one, guys. This is the Vero Engineering Synapse Gen 2 special configuration. This one is the hand satin and marbled carbon fiber. Definitely the one that I would pick if I was to order one of these. Kevin, Lefty EDC, we both had the Vero Axon, the Synapse XL, which we have, and we will take a look at, compare these two. And also the, which other ones did we have? We had the Axon, Synapse, and then the Impulse. Yeah. And we've liked them all. I absolutely love Joseph Vero as a designer. He's killing it. I mean, every one of his drops, no matter if it's a knife to a pocket clip to the fulcrum, which I have in my pocket right now because I never go anywhere without that tool, sells out minutes, seconds. He really is doing a good job. All of his products as of right now are being made by Best Tech, and Best Tech is just raising the bar. They are really doing a good and fantastic job, much better than in the past. Before they started doing these products, they really have. I mean, they do things like the Ergonomics, which we just got through reviewing, and yeah, it is. They are really killing it. The fit and finish, the action, the detent on these knives are really, really nice. This one in particular, because like I said, I have the XL. We'll put these side by side here in a little bit. Was kind of iffy for me because you guys know that I like the bigger knives. But this one is such a great little knife. I knew I was going to like the design because I like the XL. As typical Vero fashion, you have that wonderful flipper design that is out of the way, no pocket pecker, and just a dream to flip. It is amazing. Comes out of there with authority. And then, of course, you have the V-slot, which you guys know me. I like. This is the problem. I like to be able to middle finger flick my knives. You saw me kind of hiccup there. If I get this knife in pocket, and I've been carrying a whole deployment knife or a bigger knife with a whole deployment. When I first get this thing out, it is a little bit of a chore to figure out where I need to put my finger to get this out. Now, it's not really that bad. Once I do it and I get it, I can get it every time. But it is a thing. If I put this in my pocket for the first time, the first few flicks may be a little bit of a hiccup, but after that, it's good to go. This one definitely does flick out with authority on each way of deployment, and I love it. It is such a fidgety, very, very fidgety knife that makes me very happy. The closing action on this, so super smooth. Of course, running on bearings. The only branding on this knife, as usual, is, if I can get it, Gamma, is the Vero. Boo, there it is. On the spine of the blade, which I really, really like. I love that he puts it there. It's just, you know, just this freaking hand satin, guys. I love a good hand satin. I have it on a couple of knives. Best Tech's hand satin, oh yeah. It's up there with my Custom Knife Factory hand satin. Look how beautiful that is, guys. Oh, and then, of course, marbled carbon fiber for the handle scales. Just absolutely sexy. This one in particular does have just a few little voids that I can see, but they are very, very small, and it is very common when you're talking about marbled carbon fiber. Definitely has, you know, the typical Vero hardware, which is very nicely polished. Very nice construction. It's just a beautiful knife, and I knew I was going to like it because I have the XL version. This version is smaller, but it's still doable in my hands. Much more doable than I thought it was going to be. So, typical Vero ergonomics, and one thing that I love is that flat right there. That allows me to choke up on this knife, put my index finger there, and then my rest of my fingers around it. And then, as you can see, I have a full purchase on this knife. This is very comfortable. It is that way on all of the designs that are like this. It's not very comfortable back here in the backed up grip for me in my smaller hands. When I am in a choked up grip, my thumb goes past the jimping. If you're in a backed up grip, it gets on there. Jimping's done okay, but I just, I don't ever grab this knife like that. I always grab it like this, and it's fine. However, unlike the Synapse XL, this pocket clip is the same size as the XL, as you can see, but because I have all this real estate and where my hand is landing on the XL, the pocket clip is not a hot spot for me. Not at all. But on this one, it is. I know a lot of people talk about the pocket clip. Joseph knows, and he's actually making a few different modifications and fixes for that. But this one, because of where the pocket clip is on this knife and where my hand grabs, that does poke me. So it is a thing. It's not the most comfortable knife in the world because of that, but it is still very nice. And if I didn't have the XL and this is the one I had, I could totally get past that. But like I said, he is actually changing the pocket clip to where it is not going straight up at an angle. It is going to plateau off the top. And so I know for a fact that pocket clip would not feel like this one does, poking me in the hand like that. It does go in and out of the pocket really well. Maybe a little tighter for some people's liking. But on this one especially, I do like the clearance. I mean, the clearance on these are always kind of gawked at. But you can see the clearance on the XL. And then the clearance on this guy, it's enough to get around the pants that I wear. And I wear pretty heavy-duty pants, so it's not that big of a deal for me. It is kind of snug going in and out of the pocket, though. So, it's just like, if you've seen my video of the XL, you'll know how much I love this design. Bolster lock, I love the bolster lock. No chances of your finger getting on the lock bar to give you problems on deployment. Now, it is kind of a small bolster on this guy. My thumb gets in there and deploys this, and disengages this knife really well, but it's just a lot more on the XL for me to get my finger in there, so it's a little bit more comfortable for me, but not a big, it's just a smaller knife, so it's the nature of the beast, right? And I shouldn't be complaining about that. Obviously, differences in the blade. This one is a stonewash, so this is the Vero stonewash that you get from Best Tech, maybe. Come on, camera. Very nice. I do like a good stonewash, and they do a good job. It does hide wear very well. However, this hand satin, it's to die for. It is absolutely stunning, and I am a real big fan of it now. And yeah, it does get scratched easier whenever you got smuts or you're going through some, materials. It will, make it not look as nice. But I always carry a handkerchief, and if I make a cut and it does that, I just wipe it off with a handkerchief. It is that good. I really want to try, or I really wish I could have found a hand satin XL. But this is really, this knife is such a fidgety knife for me that, I don't care that it doesn't have the hand satin, but and I didn't for a long time. Once I got this one, I was a little bit more sad, but I don't think I would actually go through the effort of trying to find one to trade for now that I've got this in hand, even though I have this and I'm just kind of head over heels for it. It is so nice. So, there's your V-slot. Very nicely done. It is in a good spot, but like I said, because my hands are so big and this is a tiny knife, it sometimes can be a little bit more cumbersome for me to get my finger in there and deploy it, but it's not impossible, and it is still very well, or it still works well for me. It's just not as good as the XL, obviously, because of my big old meat hooks. But yeah, anyways, this thing is amazing. Action, deployment, detent, materials. I love it. I don't know if I'm going to actually try to hunt one of these down, because guess what, guys? They're really hard to get. If you're watching this video, you probably already know you can find these on the secondary market, especially on the Vero Engineering Facebook group, but you will pay. These were around $390 in this configuration. You will be looking to spend, $500 or more on this configuration if you were to find it on the Facebook group. It's the nature of the beast. I know a lot of people don't like it, but if you don't like it, don't pay it. Wait for the drops. You know, you got to be fast on those drops, though. It's hard. I tried to get in on the isotope, and I mean, I had one in the cart, but by the time I got there, boom, it was gone. I was heartbroken, but it's the nature of the beast when you're, you know, when you're a knife company like Joseph Vero, and your products are this popular. They're popular for a reason, because they are that good. So let's go ahead and get behind the camera and get a closer look, size comparisons, and specs on the Vero Engineering Synapse Gen 2. All right, let's see. I got you some pretty good pictures on the other side, but let's get some better ones, shall we? Look at the glare, the freaking awesome hand satin blade with the swedge on top. Very nice drop point style blade. The the Impulse was a Tonto, which was also done very, very well. But on the Synapse here, you have a very nice drop point. I think just looks very, very nice. Transitions between the carbon fiber and the titanium bolsters are almost non-existent. Very good job by Best Tech. And then, of course, your chamfering, rounding. You do have this little area here where your finger lands, but if you have already heard, you should know that when you flick this guy, you're basically flipping down and back, not straight down, and so your finger does not land in this little area. But even if it does, guys, it doesn't bother. Like, I can go straight down, and it doesn't hurt me or anything. So I don't know why that's a thing, but that's the way it's designed, is to flip down and back, and it deploys reliably 100% of the time. So freaking nice. But as you can see, definitely smaller than my big one. How big is it? Well, you have an overall length of 7.35, a blade length of 3.2, and blade thickness of about 138 thousandths, with the handle thickness of about 550 without the clip. I'm talking about right there. And it is a good thickness because of such a small knife. It fills my big hands out very, very well. And this grip would be so very comfortable if it wasn't for the pocket clip. If it was a smaller pocket clip and sit back a little more, I think it would be much better, because I just don't have the problem that I'm having with this one on my XL. So speaking of the XL, let's just kind of see what the differences in the sizes are. It's actually pretty substantial. So there's your differences between these two guys. The XL is definitely an XL. I really appreciate that. A lot of times you hear about an XL and it's not. This one is. So you definitely have a considerable difference between the Vero Synapse XL and the Gen 2, but it really depends on your hand size and preferences. Obviously, this one is going to carry a lot better in your pocket, not take up as much real estate. Some others of the smaller knives that I have in the collection right now that I really, really enjoy. This one is the Drift, the Quiet Carry Drift. Still a little bit smaller. Ergonomics are definitely different on this guy. And a thinner knife, so it does carry a little bit better. This one has a wire pocket clip, which is absolutely no hot spots whatsoever. The wire pocket clips are just really great for functionality and ergonomics. It's just the nature of the beast. Another knife that is very small that I really surprised me, but has the same kind of ergonomics as the Synapse, is the Wingman Mach 1. As you can see, it has the forward finger choil, and then it kind of swoops out here. This one has a little bit bigger of a choil and then a flat. This one kind of rounds out, but it does have this little flat here to where my index finger goes and it wraps around. Of course, this pocket clip, not a hot spot at all. Very, very comfortable knife, but these ergonomics on this small knife, such as this one, really work well for somebody with bigger hands. Like I said, choking back up on this and on this one, or a choke back grip, just isn't going to work for me. But in this grip, it absolutely does. Just another example of those particular kind of ergonomics on a smaller knife that can work, but definitely still a much smaller knife than the Synapse. Then another smaller knife that I absolutely love in my collection, gift from Lefty EDC. This is the F5.5 from Urban EDC Supply. Golly, I always just call it the F5.5. As you can see, close in overall length, definitely different ergonomics. But yeah, another one of my favorite smaller knives to carry. This knife size is one of my backup, sized knives. I like to carry a full-size knife than a backup knife. This is definitely more in the secondary role for me. But yes, you definitely could use this as a primary knife with a 3.2-inch blade. It's got enough to do most of your EDC tasks. And with this full flat grind coming in at about 18 thousandths behind the edge, it works amazing and cuts amazing. Let's go ahead and see what this one weighs. Now, all of your other variants are going to change just a tad because this is the marbled carbon fiber. They also come in G10 and micarta in quite a few different colors. Let's see what this particular variant will weigh. 3.4 ounces. Absolutely perfect. In my opinion, you know, as far as the thickness and the length of this guy, I think that weight is totally doable. It definitely carries like a dream in your pocket. So Vero Engineering, one of the hottest designers in the game right now, and for good reason. His knife designs are absolutely stunning, functional, and just amazing. And then, of course, Best Tech as the OEM are killing it. I really, really like what they're doing over there. I've loved everything that I've gotten my hands on from Joseph Vero. And keep doing what you're doing, brother, because we all love it. And then, of course, not just knives. He has other products as well, such as the Vero Fulcrum. That is the best EDC pry bar in the world. Just saying. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and checking it out with me. Go and check out Lefty EDC. Link will be down below. You all already know who he is. He's just my brother at this point. And then definitely stay tuned for the next episode of On the Edge, the live stream that me and him have. It'll be every other Saturday. Don't know when this video will post, but definitely stay tuned for that. It goes back and forth between mine and his channel. I love you all. Stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in. And we will see you in the next one.